Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Choda and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. In this video, I'll ask the question, should unemployment benefits be different for different industries and different states? Now, this is again a very complex subject because based on the data that we have, some industries have been decimated, some industries have been significantly impacted. I'll actually give you those specific industries in this video and I'll actually show you data on how the industries have changed in the past few months, and I think it is going to absolutely surprise you. In the past, I have talked about how industries like travel, entertainment, leisure, and hospitality have been impacted. But in this video, I'll dig deeper and I'll essentially show you the divide between what I call the haves and the have-nots, between individuals who have essentially recovered and individuals who've been left behind. Keep in mind that this recovery has been very kind to individuals who can work remotely. It has been very kind to individuals who have the flexibility of working from wherever they want, but it has been very unkind to individuals who are dependent on a face-to-face interaction in a customer service environment like bars, like restaurants, like hotels. So with that being said, let's get started and I'll tell you exactly where things stand right now. My name is Dr. Nitin Choda with Ignition Time. If you don't know anything about me, please check out my video. I have the fortune, the honor, the privilege of living the American dream, and for me, I want to provide you with transparent, balanced news. For me, it's not about the red or the blue, it's about the red, white, and blue. I'm not Democrat, I'm not Republican, I'm American, and I'm sure that you would agree that we are all Americans before we had Democrats and Republicans. This is an economy in which the stock market is booming, and the top 1% of individuals, the top 1% of income earners in America own the majority of stocks, which is astonishing. This is an economy in which home prices are soaring because of low interest rates. But on the other hand, there are individuals lining up at food banks. There are individuals who are going hungry because 1 in 8 Americans are experiencing hunger. There are individuals who, my viewers and subscribers, who are finding it hard to pay rent, who are finding it hard to put food on the table, who are finding it hard to keep the lights on. And that is really the tragic nature of this recovery. And there are specific industries that are actually getting impacted. So what has been happening is a K-shaped recovery. This is not a V-shaped recovery, and I've been talking about this K-shaped recovery for months on my channel. So here's what's happening. On the upper end of the K, it's this K-shaped recovery. On the upper end of the K are individuals who are well educated, who are well off, who are high income earners, individuals that are working, that can do remote work, individuals that are tied to the digital economy, individuals that are essentially able to work essentially from a computer. And these are primarily cities on the coasts which have an abundance of technology, where there is essentially a focus on technology and the ability to work from home and remote work. By and large, these individuals are prospering. Now, on the other hand, on the lower end of the K, you have individuals who have a high school diploma or less. You have individuals who are working in travel, entertainment, leisure, hospitality. You have individuals who are essentially dependent on a face-to-face interaction, individuals who don't have the ability to work remotely. You have individuals with fewer credentials, essentially older businesses, essentially regions that are focused on tourism, public gatherings, and I believe that these individuals will suffer the scar for many, many years to come, unfortunately. So again, as you can see, it's a K-shaped recovery. The top of the K shows you individuals who are essentially doing well and who've actually come back and are actually doing better than ever before. But the bottom part of the K shows individuals, it's almost like a train leaving the station and individuals getting left behind. These are the individuals who will need to, I'm trying to help with the channel. This channel, Ignition Time, is to try and help everybody. But if you're at the bottom of the K, you're going to have to learn new skills, re-engineer your skills, potentially start a business. And I want to try and help you do that as best as I can. That is part of my mission with the Ignition Time channel. Again, let me repeat, for me, it's not about the red or the blue. It's about the red, white, and blue. I'm not Democrat. I'm not Republican. I'm American. I want to be able to help as many individuals with this channel as possible. If you are learning something new so far, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Please enable notifications and please click the like button. That's your vote of confidence in me and what my team does. With that being said, let's jump into specific industries that have been impacted as a direct result of this pandemic. And I'll also show you specific states that have been impacted more than others. So we can ask the question, should unemployment benefits and should help be tailored to individuals in specific industries with a pandemic like this, and potentially even to specific states that are essentially having more of an impact than others? In how those industries changed and how employment patterns changed over the past few few months from May all the way through to August. I'm going to cover several industries, including live events, air transport, movie and sound recording. In other words, it's directly tied to entertainment. Vehicle manufacturing, this is very important because this is an indicator of work, local work in factories. This is important. Restaurants and bars, oil and gas extraction, apparel manufacturing, rail transport, furniture manufacturing, which is a direct indication of how consumers are spending, construction, electronic and appliance stores, data hosting and processing, in other words, work related to the cloud, work related to the technology, which, by the way, allows this to happen. This YouTube video, what you're watching, everything you're doing online, drug stores, and food and beverage stores. So we're going to look at all of these industries one by one and show you the exact nature of the impact across these industries. So on your screen, you see a chart that shows you the change in year-to-year spending across sectors compared to last year. So the data that you're going to see that goes from May through August compares how things were compared to the prior year, and plus you see the change between May and August of this year. You'll start to see that as far as live events are concerned, down 41.8% in August compared to August of 2019. So you can start to see all of this data across different industries, and you can start to see again the blue section corresponds to May of 2020, and the lighter shade of blue corresponds to August of 2020, and this compares that particular sector to how things were back in 2019. So let's take a look at restaurants and bars, for example, down 35% in August of 2020 relative to 2019. If we take a look at apparel manufacturing, down 34% in May and down 14% in August relative to the same periods in 2019. You'll start to see the significant impact across sectors, and what is even more astonishing is that certain sectors are actually starting to do better than they did last year. Certain companies have actually prospered in this pandemic. If you had to guess the number one company in the world that actually prospered in this pandemic more than any other company in the entire world, can you guess? Well, that company is Amazon. Amazon prospered and gained over $400 billion in market value through this pandemic while businesses were decimated and while other businesses went out of business. You'll start to see drugstores, food and beverage stores did much, much better relative to their peers. Just astonishing when you look at this data. If you look at the bottom, you see electronics, appliance stores, data hosting, drug stores, food and beverage stores did better while all other industries suffered. Now let's take a look at a chart of the entire country, which is why, in this video I asked, should unemployment benefits be tailored for different sectors and potentially for different states? If you take a look at this chart, first of all, let's take a look at this chart at a high level. The entire country has suffered. The entire country has seen a decline in employment, the whole country. Some states have been impacted worse than others. You can see states with those darkest shades of blue. We're talking New York, California, Nevada, Alaska, to some extent New Jersey and Delaware. Those are the states that have suffered the most in terms of employment rates. But every other state has suffered. Some states have suffered more than others. So to say that, well, some states are okay, that's not true. Every single state has suffered. In fact, you'll start to see some states like New Mexico, Texas, Louisiana, Florida, North Carolina, Virginia, Kentucky, Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, North Dakota, Wyoming, Oregon, Washington. Those have suffered less than the other states I mentioned, those dark blue states on this map. But they have also suffered. They've experienced anywhere from 6 to 9% unemployment. And so this is a change in unemployment from February through August. So in other words, in August, they were 9%, 10%, 12%, 18% lower than what they were in February of 2020. Again, which is it just blows my mind when you take a look at these numbers. It's almost like the world has changed completely for us in the past 6 months. Now, things are expected to improve, but they're not going to improve in a month or two. They could take as long as a year, potentially longer, to improve for certain industries. So again, taking a look at this chart, I want you to understand that the impact has been national. The impact has been across states nationwide. I want to know what you think of this video. Please let me know in the comment section below whether you agree that unemployment benefits should be tailored for different sectors, meaning for different industries, for different occupations, and for different states across the country, because the impact has been directly linked to how the pandemic came in New York because of all the flights coming to New York. I flew into New York. I expected a lot of protective measures. I expected quarantining. Nothing. There was zip. There were tens of thousands of people packed into JFK, shoulder to shoulder. And I think that, that is one of the reasons why New York had a big surge, and, a lot of flights coming into from other countries. So if you do business in other countries, let's say in the United Kingdom, or if you're flying in from Asia, you fly usually into New York, which is why New York had a surge. And a lot of flights from countries like China, from countries like Australia, fly into the West Coast. They land in the West Coast, which is why we had a big surge partially in California as well. But those states, again, we'll put up the states map on your screen right now. Take a look at the map with all the states again. So you'll see that California has had the biggest impact. I'm showing you the state now, the states map, like I showed you earlier. California and New York have had the biggest impact just because of their geographical location and the fact that, essentially they pretty much had, the pandemic coming in. But the whole country has had an impact. I want you to let me know in the comment section below whether you agree that the unemployment benefits should be tailored for specific sectors. Let's put up the sectors again, so that you see all the different sectors on your screen. There you can see all the sectors, and should they be tailored for specific states. Let's put up the states again on your screen, and you'll start to see that the impact has been different for different states. So let me know if you agree with this. Let me know in the comment section below. Also, please share this video with friends and families. That would be your vote of confidence in me and my team. That's it, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Dr. Nitin Choda with Ignition Time. I appreciate you watching. If you don't know anything about me, check out my video. I have the fortune, the honor, the privilege of living the American dream. I want to help you live your American dream. We release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. That's 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. Get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000, that's 70000, and you'll get added to SMS list going forward. You can also, if you want, go to ignitiontime.com/alerts and get on our email list, and you can opt out of our email list or our SMS list at any point in time that you want. No worries about that. You can also bookmark our channel. Go to youtube.com/ignition time. That's youtube.com/ignition time. This way you can essentially visit our channel at any point in time, and you're not dependent on YouTube notifications. So I think that'll be very beneficial. You can also follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is ignition_time. That's ignition_time. You'll get exclusive content on Instagram, and also follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is also ignition_time. That's ignition_time. This way you'll get breaking news and alerts from us on Twitter. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, we release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Please consider clicking subscribe. Please consider enabling notifications. That is your vote of confidence in us, your vote of confidence in me and my team, because we work hard to provide you this information. And please click the like button if you learned something new in this video, and if you are essentially a more educated citizen. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.